can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I feel like 100 grand.
You are listening to Inspired Insider with your host, Dr. Jeremy Wise.
Hey, everybody. This is John Corcoran with Dr. Jeremy Wise, and this episode is a little bit different. This is a live interview that we recorded at the Global Leadership Conference from Entrepreneurs Organization, where some of the best entrepreneurs from around the globe gathered in Washington, D.C. to share ideas and to learn about entrepreneurship. And of course, this episode is brought to you by Rise 25, where we help B2B businesses to give to and to connect to their Dream 100 relationships and partnerships, helping you to run a podcast so that it generates a referral pipeline and ROI.
Yeah, I mean, John, after both of us have been podcasting for over a decade, the number one thing in our life is relationships. And we're always looking at ways to give to our best relationships. And we found no better way to do that over the past decade than to profile the people and companies we admire and shout from the rooftops what they're working on. And this interview is no different. So if you've thought about podcasting, you should go to rise25.com to learn more, or email us at support@rise25.com.
Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the interview.
Enjoy. Jeremy Weiss here. We're live from EOGLC, brought to you by Rise 25. I'm here with Don. And Don, tell people your name and what you do.
Yeah, I'm Don Williams, and my company is Don Williams Global, and I basically help people sell more of whatever they sell.
How did you get into this industry? Tell me more about your business.
So at age 19, I stumbled into a sales job, and in about 6 months, ended up being the number one sales rep in the country. They promoted me to sales manager, which is not always a good idea to take a great salesperson and turn them into a manager. Worked out for them. Took me about another 6 months to be top sales manager in the country. And so since that time, I've worked with over half the Fortune 500 on marketing, sales, and service strategy and execution.
So what were you doing as a sales rep that set you apart?
So I think the number one thing, if you want to increase your sales, is stop selling and start helping. People have problems. If you provide an excellent product, service, or experience that solves their problem, it's just a matter of having trust, and they'll buy. You won't have to worry about selling. They'll just buy. And that sounds a little foo-foo, but it's true.
At what point did you decide, I'm going to strike out on my own?
Great question. So I helped this gentleman who I worked for build this company, worked my way into partnership with him. He did not pay me as agreed, and so I became his competitor.
That's pretty wild.
It was pretty wild. We reconciled many years later. I have no hard feelings. And in fact, I'm really grateful, because without that, I probably would not have launched my own company. I was doing very well. I was going to do very, very well in partnership. And it took probably that stimulus to get me to move on.
You had an EOS implementer that you helped.
Yeah, so I've had many clients, and my first coaching and consulting client was an EOS implementer. And when he came to me, he had 4 clients, which is pretty low in that business. And the rate that he charged was, he charged $4,000 a day rate, which is very low for that industry. And so the first thing we looked at, because it's not just about making sales, it's about making sales that make money, okay? And so I'm like, so why aren't we charging $10,000 a day instead of $4,000? And he said, well, I'm just not ready, and I can't command that price, and people won't pay that price. And what I was able to get him to realize was this: if what you do works, people will pay the $10,000. And if what you do doesn't work, the $4,000 is too much. So the price is really immaterial, but so many times people look at how they price their product, service, or experience based on cost of goods, cost of labor, and that's kind of the wrong way to do it, in my opinion. It's much better to look at it as to the value provided. So, I'll just give you a wild example. So if I could provide you $1 million worth of value that you didn't already have, would you let me have 150,000 of it? And most entrepreneurs, not all, but most are like, I absolutely would. And so those are the kind of people I want to work with, and those are the kind of people that typically you see scale companies very fast. Not this. Now it may have taken them 10 years to build a foundation, but once they actually get to scaling, that goes very quickly.
I mean, that's a great lesson in pricing to look at the value you provide for another company. You also helped an IT services company.
So I love working with scientists, very bright people. They're high IQ, many times a little lower on their EQ. They're a quart low. And, nobody can be excellent and a genius at everything. Nobody can. And so this client's a managed services provider. He's an IT genius. There's, no doubt about it. Very uncomfortable, even to use the word sales. And that's not uncommon in that industry. And so over a period of time, you start with mindset and how people are thinking, because that's what everything gets built on. But doubled his business, which it was pretty significant to begin with, in about 12 months. Mostly by changing mindset, and then some processes, that with a new mindset you were able to view and say, maybe we should actually be doing this like this, and these things over here that we've done forever, maybe we should stop some of those. It's stop the stupid and move everything else to best practice, and you'll improve.
Don, you have a book.
I do have a book. I have a recent released book, Gratitude, Stories from Our Hearts. It's a compilation of 25 stories from individuals like you and me who share the power of gratitude in their life. My vision for that book, actually my fourth book, is to influence 1 million people to begin a daily intentional gratitude practice. Because the funny thing about gratitude is this: the more you practice gratitude, the more grateful you become. And the more grateful you become, the more productive you become. And it doesn't mean that bad things won't happen and uncomfortable things won't happen in your life, but they'll matter less and you'll move on faster. And after all, time is we all have the common enemy of time. We want to get as much done as we can in the time that we have. And that doesn't necessarily mean work faster and harder. It just means to be more grateful and, a little more intentional about how we live.
What's a favorite story from the book? And also just tell people the title and where they can find it.
So title is Gratitude, Stories from Our Hearts by Don Williams and Friends. Okay, I have 24 co-authors, and you can find it on Amazon. Is absolutely the easiest place to buy any book anymore. And I'll share the story that put me on my gratitude journey. I was at the GLC Global Leadership Conference in Bangkok, and a lady was talking in one of the breakout sessions about the power of gratitude in a person's life and how humans perform at their highest level when they express or experience gratitude, and at their lowest level when they express or experience fear or shame. So I began this daily gratitude practice called One Good Thing, and so every day I would journal at least one good thing that I was grateful for. After about 6 months, I took it to my team, and we began doing it once a week. Now, when you first do that, they look at you like you're Godzilla. They're like, what are you talking about? But after a period of time, they came around. 1 week, a lady who worked with me 15 years got up and shared, I'm grateful. My grandson was born last week. He lived an hour. Tragic. Nothing you can say about that. But she was grateful because mother, father, both sets of grandparents got to meet him, hold him.
It's a touching story.
Loved him. And so that began my gratitude journey, and I've been recruiting people to join me in that gratitude journey ever since.
So where can they learn more? What website should they go to? Don, thanks for sharing that story.
Yeah, my pleasure. So easiest website, and I have a bunch of them, but Don Williams, I'm Don Williams. Go to donwilliamsglobal.com, and you can find me there, easy peasy.
Check out his book. Check out Don Williams, live from GLC.
What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I'm feeling like 100 grand.